Okay, if you remember, we were reloading a little while ago because the game was acting up a bit funny. It was speeding up. Here we are. Again, we've slowed down though. And we are looking for a werewolf. And what's all this? Treasure. Oh, there's a couple of potions here. Resist shock and resist frost. I'll take these potions. They'll be reasonably useful. Of course, the resist ones aren't that useful. Scarab is worth picking up. Prayer beads not very useful at all. What have we got in this pile of treasure? A potion of restore power. I'll take that. I think I've already got one of those. A religious item which is quite weighted, 27 gold. So these treasure piles hardly ever... Oh, and what's this? This is a teleporter skull. So we can click on that and we're teleported somewhere completely different. Of course that was a dead end and there's no way of teleporting back. Right. Now I can't remember if I recalled myself or not. Hopefully I did, because having to wander back would be really irritating. Another skull. Oh, that's the return skull. Good to have a little teleporting skull. I hope there aren't any more torch levers, because there's tons of these little torches around. But we're just looking for a werewolf to kill, so we should be able to hear that werewolf, because they do sound quite distinctive. Not many enemies around here so far. Yeah, the treasure piles that you get, you never really seem to get very good treasure. All it is ghosts. All it is loot, like gold pieces and ingredients. You don't really get weapons and armor in these piles. You sometimes get magical clothing, but that's not that useful. I think you can actually wear magical clothing underneath your armor. I'll have to have a look at that. I know I'm wearing my character anyway is wearing a skirt and a cloak, or could wear a skirt and a cloak, but I think they might be able to wear a pair of trousers and a shirt underneath their armour. Mummies, so it looks like we're gonna face mummies as opposed to zombies in this maze. Call it a maze rather than a dungeon, because that's what it is. It's all these dungeon crawling things are just areas, are just basically massive mazes. And sometimes these doors lead into corridors, and sometimes they're just side rooms. Like this is a massive corridor, for instance. And so sometimes you need to open these doors, and sometimes you don't. And why would someone actually have a door in the middle, somewhere like basically in the middle of a continuing corridor? It doesn't make sense. If it's a corridor, it's going to be a corridor, surely, not just. The only point of having a door is if you've got a room, surely. Anyway, I'm just rambling on a bit. Oh, plenty of mummies here. I'll take those arrows, even though I very rarely use bows. The only time I might take a bow along with me is when I go and do the final mission. I mean, I've never played the final mission in the main quest, but I think that it might be quite useful. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, since my archery is so poor, I don't think it'll be that useful actually. Those 4 mummies that came along, that sort of reminds me of the dungeon in Shadungut, where you always get 4 undead creatures coming after you. I'm sure there's a ghost in here. Yeah, there's a ghost. Another one. They're just glutton. Another one. They're just glutton for punishment, these guys. What have we got here? A very small amount of gold, a paltry amount of gold to be honest. Those religious items you can equip and you can enchant if you really want to. And is that treasure or is that just decoration? I can't click on it right now. Let's see if I shift around and whether I can actually click on it. Of course it looks like there's a sword there, but nope, there's just a religious item instead. A talisman. You can enchant those talisman and you can just carry them around your person, and you can actually use them to cast spells. So even if you're not a spell absorbing person, you can actually have a few talismans, marks, etc. Basically lots of items that you carry to give you practically infinite spells. Now, it looks like there's a secret door here, or is that just a corridor underneath me? Yeah, it's just a corridor underneath me. Although right now my character's weighed down by the Daedric armour and steel armour, if I was a true magic user and didn't use a sword and I didn't carry around all this armour, I could be carrying around marks and artifacts and just using those spells, as opposed to using my spell absorption to blow away every single character. Okay, I haven't been here before, so... well, I've been in this corridor before, but we need to explore this way. We've almost, I expect, explored that other part of the dungeon just behind us, so the werewolf's definitely not there. I think we've been in that room. Yeah, that's just a room. So this place is supposed to be a castle anyway. Now we're in that corridor that we were looking at before. There is stairways that we haven't been and this corridor that we haven't been. Let's explore. Yeah, down this way. I'm sure there's some extra ghosts. It looks like a dead end. Sometimes that candle is a pull lever, or I don't really want to pull on it right now. Let's go down these steps. More steps. More steps. A typical Daggerfall intersection to confuse you. A locked door, so let's bash that open. What's the point of lockpicking when you can bash a door open? It does damage your weapon a little bit, but you can always repair it. What's this? A slaughterfish. He's disappeared. But we don't want to swim down there. And another slaughterfish. Okay, we don't want to swim down there. I don't know if... I'm not sure if werewolves can be underwater. I don't think they can, so I am not going to go down there because my swimming is not good and I just wouldn't be able to move anywhere. Not too interested about leveling up my swimming right now because it's not very useful for the main quest. It's only useful if you want to just get rid of that distraction. It's only really useful if you want to explore dungeons, and who wants to do that? Because in a way the only reward you're going to get is an extra bit of treasure that you can pretty much get anywhere else. Oh, by the way, I was going through... you might notice on my armour I've got now, well, I was selling a bit of my armor, and I've noticed that armor is actually extremely expensive. So if you sell a pair of steel gauntlets, for instance, you'll get around about 1,500 gold just for those steel. There's nothing special about the gauntlets, but you get that much gold, which is considerably more than you actually get for completing a dungeon questing mission. So yes, I would say the game isn't particularly balanced in terms of its rewards, because if you go through a dungeon, you can expect having at least a whole 70-80 kilos worth of gear, and that probably includes gold and probably about 3 or 4 cuirasses, gauntlets, etc., which will net you around about 5,000, 6,000 gold, whereas you're only going to get 500 or 600 gold for completing the mission. Much easier to defend the Mages Guild, or I can't remember the Fighters Guild quests though. They're quite typically go and kill something, or go and kill something in a house somewhere. Of course, if you come across dungeons like this, which is full of ghosts without any treasure, then it's not so profitable. 18 gold pieces, so kind of pathetic. That's a tower shield, nothing I'm interested in. There's a little picture shrine. Let's just equip my Daedric stuff. Yeah, that little picture shrine weighs about 5 kilos and it only is worth about 500 gold, so it's really not worth it in terms of loot. It's almost the same as, you know, in Skyrim where you get boots and cauldrons and things like that. That's really not worth taking, hardly worth the gold at all. Right, in this room there's a trapdoor, but I don't think you can go down that trapdoor. That's not a real room, if you like. I mean, I can hear a werewolf around here, so perhaps it's round the corner. It's a vampire. It's a nice place for a vampire. She's probably in a toilet cubicle and lots of bookcases around. Vampires don't have very decent gear either. They don't have very decent stuff for you to take. All those bookshelves are just for decoration. I don't think you can read anything there. We can try clicking on this trapdoor. It doesn't actually take us anywhere. It's just for decoration. Now, some of the trapdoors actually have a lever that you can pull and then it opens. Or more commonly, there's a lever somewhere around the dungeon, somewhere, you know, miles away, about 2-3 minutes travel away. There's a lever to open that trapdoor. Of course, again, who on earth would actually design something like that? But that's the way Daggerfall is built. Let's save here. Now this room looks like the room you get in Privateer's Hold. Of course we didn't go past this area, but this is obviously, I recognise it from being cut out of the dungeons of Privateer's Hold. Nothing in here. Nice long room though with high ceilings. Usually there's a couple of enemies in those rooms. Pressing the wrong button. Keep on looking at what time it is as opposed to recasting my spell. Well, it looks like we've returned back where we came. And still no werewolf. Right, I hope this isn't going to be one of the super frustrating dungeons that we come through. Right, we haven't been this way, so let's take a stroll. Oh, wrong button. Hang on, how do you get out of this? Okay, I think that we can just... we have to click on one of these or press enter and then we have to cancel that. So let's just click on... let's just... well, I don't want to click on the potions, just click on the cloak and then cancel the cloak. There you go. I think it took a bit of my magicka when I pressed that, so it's obviously formal cloak is some sort of spell. Nothing in here, doesn't look like it. And another intersection. Okay, looks like a vampire or some sort of person. Let's just blow him up. That's a vampire. It's useful to shoot round corners, the area of effect spells, because if you don't have spell absorption it'll hit you as well. Another way to do it is spell reflection. Oh, another potion, cure poison. That's kind of useful actually, because sometimes people poison you. They either shoot you with poison arrows or they cast you poison spells and you just gradually lose your health. And unless you've got a cure poison spell, you're going to have a hard time. What's this mummy got on him? Keep on forgetting that they have treasure. 432 gold, not bad. What's in this room? Sounds like there's something in this room. Sounds werewolfy. Through the door or through here? It's the werewolf! Body of werewolf transforms. Looks like Sindasa. Okay, so that's our quest. We have completed the quest. I don't think he's got any treasure on him to prove that I killed him. No, that's fine. So that's completed that quest, and let's just get out of here. Teleport. And gosh, where is the exit? I think I teleported very close to the exit, but I can't remember where I did it. Now this is the room where I killed the vampire, and here are the torture areas, and this is the secret door that I opened, so it's not through there. Oh actually I was just standing in front of it. Okay, so let's get out of here, let's go back to Daggerfall. Got a very useful flashing red line to indicate where I am. Okay, it takes me 3 days. I guess I was in there for a couple of days, so we have got 10 days left. Look at that, I'm carrying some sort of werewolf head. I guess that tells me my quest is complete. Vision haze, the world grows dim. Out of the grey, a woman's face appears. Medora, cat, your efforts to free me have not been in vain. I've discovered a powder that will soothe the ghost of Lysanders. However, it's in the hands of Gortwork, warlord of the Orcs, in the steel city of Orsinium. Go to him in Orsinium, see that anything can be done to persuade him to give it to you. Bring the powder to me to Direni Town once you have it. Vision clears. Sometimes you wish sorceresses would just send letters like other folks do. No, actually I don't, because letters just appear in your backpack and you just don't know that they're there. And it can be quite annoying. That's what happens with not Medora, but the Princess Morgaya, Princess of Wayrest's letters, just appears in your backpack at level 3 and you've got no idea how it got there. Well, that gives us another quest to do. We definitely now need to go and see Gortwork. So Gortwork for a couple of reasons. Number one, because Morgaya said that he's got the letter. Number 2, because he's got the dust that can settle Lysandus. And number 3, which we haven't discovered yet, is that again he has got the letter that we've been looking for. But let's go and get into Daggerfall. Let's go back to Sindasa and tell her that we've killed that werewolf. He's dead then. Poor thing, used to be my brother. Wish there'd be another way to help him. Promised I'd tell you about that letter you're looking for. I can remember that, yeah. Not every day you get a letter from the Emperor himself, especially seeing as the King isn't too fond of him. In fact, it's the only letter I've seen from him. I'll give it to Her Majesty. She's all excited, rips it open, says, "This isn't for me, it's addressed to my Nesseret." Then boom, her jaw fell open, her eyes get real wide. She says, "I'll make sure the Queen Mother gets it, and that I don't have to worry about myself none about it." Okay, so we discover a bit more about the letter, but I think we should save that for another time. But obviously it was for Mycinia, not Queen Orbgai. So that will end things here, and we'll see you for the next part.